Today on Mirror Domains, we're going to be talking about Mulan getting a PG-13 rating. Bill and Ted Face the Music just released a new photo, and talking about Keanu Reeves, we got an image of him and Trinity from The Matrix 4. Now, we've seen images of Keanu before on the set with a beard and such, but now we get to see the first look of him and Trinity. Okay, that'll be interesting. Ben Affleck released some comments about his departure from the Batman franchise that we'll have to talk about. And today is the debut of the Sausage File, in which somebody out there released a quote of Jim Carrey on a press tour of Sonic the Hedgehog that's got all of everybody's feathers ruffled. All right, let's get to it. Hello, my name is James and welcome to Mirror Domains. And on this show, we do talk about movie news and entertainment news, and I do think we've got a quick little interesting rundown for today. Always check the comments below where I'll leave some time codes for you guys. And as you know, I try to have this show up weekdays by 8 p.m. Atlantic, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's when I really want to claim my time to have this done. I usually read the movie news, see the headlines, and I usually comment on, the forums and other people's stories. I'm very interactive that way, so I figure if I'm going to do that, I might as well just turn on the camera and share my thoughts with you guys. So, with that being said, let's just get into some Bill and Ted news of, that they were making a third movie in this franchise. It's called Face the Music. It's slated for August 21st release, and it's about this future person. They haven't really said who that future person is, but a visitor from the future tells best friends Bill and Ted that one of their songs can save life as we know it and bring harmony to the universe. And I remember in the early production stages that they said, as we saw in the first two movies, that they're supposed to write this music that's supposed to bring everybody together, and they haven't done it yet, and they're in their 50s now, and they have two daughters, which is kind of interesting because I think in the last movie, didn't they say that they were sons? But they changed it up. I'm curious about you guys if you find that change up a little bit offsetting or whatever. You know what? We were never supposed to take this franchise all that seriously to begin with. I mean, come on. We had Station.
Plus, you got an excellently huge Martian butt.
I love that scene. I wish we had better footage of that too, but oh well. Okay, so who's playing the daughters? It looks like it's going to be Samara Weaving and Bridget Lundy. I can't pronounce his last name. Polana. That person I don't really too much know about her, but Samara Weaving, we saw her last year in Ready or Not. And in this new photo, it looks like they're at their graduation or something. They're all dressed up. And it's just kind of cool because they sort of look like the same people. They've kind of captured that character in just their mannerisms. That's what I mean, right? Mannerisms. Not the same people because they just are, but I mean because they've got that same gesture to them. And I'm really curious to what the first teaser or what the first trailer is going to be like, because that will give us a real clue as to if this is going to be a hit or it's going to be a huge miss, because it does have the potential to be a monumental miss. I just hope it hits. Okay. I'm going to move on here now to a little bit more of a somber news about Ben Affleck. He did this interview with the New York Times on January 30th of this year, and he talked about his departure from the Batman. Now, I like Batfleck. Did you? I liked him, but as the movies, it was just kind of like, well, B versus S. I really liked him in Justice League. I liked a lot of his interactions with the other members. I felt like that was the best part of Justice League, with him talking with Diana, Wonder Woman. I felt like he did an actual fairly good job, but I guess behind the scenes, he was really struggling with the bottle. He was a drinker. We known that from his past before he had gone into rehab. And I guess, at the time when he was doing Justice League, he was, writing his own Batman movie that he was set to direct. And I guess he just was really, really falling off the wagon hardcore. And he said in his interview, I'll give you the quote here, I showed somebody the Batman script. They said, I think the script is good. I also think that you'll drink yourself to death if you go through with what you just went through again. Close quote. So I'm guessing he just told one of his friends. People speculate that was Matt Damon, but I don't want to get into that stuff. I just want to get to his quote here where he said that he'll drink yourself to death. And I figure, you know what, man, if you're going through that much stress, if you're having a relapse, yeah, take your time, take a step back and make sure that you can get a grasp on it again. Because from what my people know, I can tell you this, it's a tough thing to get a hold of that addiction. Well, they call it a disease, but trust me, I know. I just hope that he's able to get himself on the right page again and stay that way. But I just felt like this news, he was fairly raw and candid. It's on the New York Times page. He talks about all of his stuff going on then. I just felt like that stuff, I really respect Ben Affleck for sharing that with us and just kind of like, okay, yeah, this is what happened. And it's kind of a bummer that we didn't get to see his Batman movie, but now we know why. And I can't say anything more good for him. Just get on there and make sure that you can live the life the way that you want to do it. Okay, with that being said, we're going to talk about something completely sausage, and this is the Sausage Files. Here we go. Jim Carrey was on a press tour, one of those press junkets for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie there, and, they have a tendency to ask the same questions over and over again, and one of them was, if you had a bucket list, what's on your bucket list? Because in the movie, Sonic gets the idea from him to have a bucket list and live as much as he can before he has to go to another planet. And people were asking Jim Carrey, well, what's on your bucket list? And I guess he had been asked that so many times. It must have been the last girl of the day to ask him that question. And I guess it's got people's feathers ruffled, and that's why I'm calling it the Sausage File. I'll elaborate after we take a look at the clip.
After all you've done in your career and in your life, is there anything still left on your bucket list?
Just you.
Oh. Wow.
That's it. It's all done now.
So,
I don't know.
You see that some people may interpret that as the wrong way, and I'm only going to talk about this in one particular manner. I guess a lot of the left SJW crowd has jumped on this and called him a misogynist, that he shouldn't have said that because it was degrading. And if you actually watch a lot of his interviews, Jim Carrey's, then you'll see that he had a very different answer for that question every time he was asked that on this junket. He gave some really outlandish answers, and I'm guessing, as I said, it seemed like this probably was the last one of the day, the last interview, where he just said, my bucket list is now you, because that means I'm done with this now today, and I can finally go home. I never read into it that there was any kind of sexual connotation to it, but that's what people are driving home, and that's why I'm calling this sausage, because people try to infuse their agendas into everything. And if you just give them a little bit of an inch, then they're going to run with it and just have videos of them screaming and yelling on the camera. And that's why I call it sausage, because if you're going to act like a sausage, then I'm going to treat you like a sausage. I don't think he had any of that in mind when he said it. He was just trying to be funny, and it was not meant in a sexual way. It was just meant in a way that he was done with these kinds of interviews for the day. That was on his bucket list, to get through it all. And if you want to get up in front of the camera and scream and yell, then I think that's sausage. I got no time or place for that. I think if you want to invest your time in that kind of vitriol and that kind of hatred, by all means, go for it. That's your path. That's what you need to do in your life today. But for me, I'm off of that. I don't think that you need to take something like that and just run with it and try to attack somebody for it when he never meant it. And he didn't mean it like that. So That's why I'm calling it the sausage file. It's just a small little piece of news there that encapsulates my definition of being sausage. Okay, let's go back to something a little bit more fun here. Matrix 4 is underway. It's in full production now. And Matrix 4 is slated for a May 21st, 2021 release. And it's being directed by Lana Wachowski, one of the Wachowskis that directed the first three. And we've seen reports. I've seen reports. I've seen set photos of Neo doing stunts. He's got the beard on. And he's dressed in different clothes. So I'm guessing they're back in the Matrix. And why I wanted to talk about this today is just because we got to see Carrie-Anne Moss on set with Keanu Reeves. And I felt like that was a little cool shot that I'll share with you guys right there. I think that's cool. It's just, I like their chemistry in the movies, the first three. I think that's probably one of the best parts of the story of the first three, because they sold it and they sold it well. I feel like this production, though, it's going to be interesting because it's a plot where it's going to be tightly under wraps. And from what we hear, there's a possibility of it being about a young Morpheus. I don't know about that. There's speculation that this Yahweh Abdul Mateen II is playing a young Morpheus, and this time around Keanu's got to go out and find the young Morpheus in this version of the Matrix, because the Matrix was rebooted at the end of the third movie, so there is the possibility of a new one. I always thought it would be like Keanu would be training the one, and we'd see familiar faces like Carrie-Anne Moss back, and he would try to talk to her and such. I saw on the IMDb page that Jada Pinkett Smith is listed there as Niobe returning, so that'll be interesting. And then there's also rumblings that the Merovingian is going to be back in this one. And that's okay. Well, that actually does make sense. But I just thought I'd share this quick little photo with you guys and get your thoughts on The Matrix 4. Is this something that you're looking forward to? I'm guessing that once we see that trailer, or the first trailer, then everybody will jump on board. But as far as seeing Carrie-Anne Moss back, that's cool, man. I always dug her. I thought she was a fantastic actress that never got enough exposure. Okay, and that leads us to our final story today about Mulan. I think everybody, for the most part, is familiar with this property. And it was a cartoon, and that was G, and it was much more of a musical. And from the teasers and from the trailers that we saw, it's not going to be like that at all. It's going to be a much more serious war epic, like this fantasy war epic, because we see that there's magic involved in this, of course. And I was really impressed with the trailers. I will leave links to my reaction up in the cards above, because if you want to see those, then you'll definitely be more interested in Mulan, because I think this one has the potential to be one of the better live action reinterpretations than some of the CG stuff that they've been giving us lately. But that's just my tastes. I prefer a little bit more of an adult fare. But the PG-13 is kind of interesting because it's not PG. It means that the younger crowd won't be able to go out and see it. I guess they haven't had a PG-13 movie since Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales, that came out in 2017. But I don't think this is going to hurt that Mulan being PG-13. It just means it's going to be for an older audience, and the small, weak crowd will have to go with their parents. And for the most part, I don't think it's going to have anything too scary in it other than people fighting. So I find like this rating is going to be fairly reasonable. It says in the article, due to sequences of violence. Well, it's a war movie. It's about war. So she goes to train and become a soldier. I think you're definitely going to see some scenes in there that should be epic from what we've seen in the trailers, that are going to be a little bit violent, but I think it's going to be respectful. So I think that PG-13, yeah, I think that's warranted. All right, let me know in the comments below what you think about this and any of the stories that we went over today. I really like to talk about this stuff, and I want to share my thoughts with you guys. As I said, the show is going to be up 8 p.m. on weekdays. That's 5 p.m. on the Pacific Coast there. And it's going to be part of a playlist, the trailer reactions playlist. And that's it. That's the kind of day that has been in movie news and entertainment news overall. All right. YouTube is recommending a video for you to watch right there, and you can see my latest one just right up here. My name is James, and you're watching Mirror Domains. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe right there.